Good morning, students. This is the lecture of compiler design, first lecture today's. In this series of lecture, we will discuss about the uh, subject of compiler design. Okay. First of all, we will start about the introduction to the compiler design. Okay. Unit 1, lecture 1. Prerequisites and recapitulations. If we are talking about, so you should know the knowledge of the automata theory, context-free grammar, computer architecture, data structure, and simple graph algorithms. Okay. If you are having the basic knowledge of all these things that I have written in this particular slide, in that case, that is very helpful while you will study the compiler design. Today's we will discuss about the translators. Before going, what is compiler? Before starting the compiler, first of all, we will discuss about these agendas in today's lecture. First of all, we will discuss the translators, then types of translators, introduction to compiler, structure of compiler, and phases and passes. These are the agenda for our today's lecture. Okay, listen. First of all, we will discuss what is translator. Okay, translator is what? That can translate something from one form to the another form. You may call it as a translator. But in terms of computer system, in terms of computers, you can or you may call it as a software which is used to transform or convert from one form to the another form. Okay, you have studied so many languages like C, C++, and Java. You should know what is source code, what is target code. This is what the translator is, which is used to convert your source code into the object code, or your source language into the object language, or you may call it as the target language. So now how you can define the compiler? You may call it as a software which is used to transform or convert from one form to the another form, or from source language to the target language. This is the definition of the translator. Now we will proceed types of translators. These are the types of translator. I have written in this slides is first one is compiler, second one is interpreter, third one is assembler, and fourth one is preprocessors. Everyone you heard about these four terms. Okay, these are basically the types of compiler. One by one we will discuss all these types of translators. First of all, we will discuss what is compiler. Listen to me very carefully. All these four things like compiler, interpreter, assembler, and preprocessor. What are these? These are the types of translators. So how can you define what is compiler? You may call it as it is a kind of translator or a type of translator which converts a high level language into the low level language. High level language, you may call it as, like example is Fortran, PLI, COBOL, and low level language, you can say that the machine language is the low level language or the assembly language. Okay, this is the definition of your compiler. Likewise, interpreter, again you may call it as it is a kind of translator, okay, which converts again high level language into the low level language. But compiler compiles your program. On the other hand, your interpreter will interpret, or you may call it as a line by line execution it will provide for your source code. Third one is assembler, that converts the assembly language into the machine language. Again, it is a kind of translator, but what it will do, it will convert your assembly language into machine language. And last one, that is preprocessor. Most of the books write about the either compiler, interpreter, assembler, or translator. Okay, but what is preprocessor? Preprocessor is sometimes used for translator that takes program in one high level language and convert it into the equivalent another high level language. This is what the working of the preprocessor is. So now you can call it as, we are having the four types of translators. First one is compiler, second one is interpreter, third one is assembler, and fourth one is preprocessors. If we are talking about compiler, interpreter, and assembler, they are converting high level language into low level language. Okay, takes your program that is to be written in high level language and they will convert that program into the low level language or machine language. But preprocessor is a kind of translator that converts high level language into another equivalent high level language. This is all about the introduction to the translator and the types of translator. Next, we will discuss the structure of compiler. In this structure of compiler, we are having these phases. Okay, if we are talking in layman language, so everyone you know that you will provide your source code to the compiler. You will compile your you did compile your program, no? When you wants to execute something, when you wants to execute your program, you will pass your program or your source code into the compiler. And after the compilation process will over, you will find the either the message program is being successfully compiled, or you will receive the message that there is a particular error in some line numbers. Okay, so this is till now you just know the compiler does compiling, takes the source code in one form and produce that source code into the another form. Okay, according to you till now this was the compiler, but from now onwards this is the structure of your compiler that I am telling to you. Structure is, you will feed your high level language, you will feed your source language, or you can provide as an input your high level language or your source program into the compiler. These are the phases of the compiler. First one is lexical analyzer, second one is syntax analyzer, third is semantic analysis, fourth intermediate code generation, fifth code optimization, and sixth one is target code generation. Okay, first of all we will discuss about the structure of the compiler. Before proceeding or before going into the depth, firstly I want to tell you that this particular structure can be categorically, or you can say that can be divided into the two parts. First one is, you may call it as the analysis phase, and second one is synthesis phase. Okay, like lexical analysis. Here I have written lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer. You may write it as the lexical analysis, syntax analysis. If you are using the word analysis, lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, means you are talking about the phases. Okay, these are the phases. If you are saying lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, that means now it can be considered as a components. So these are the phases of the compiler, or you may call it as the component of the compiler. It depends upon you what you say, lexical analysis or lexical analyzer. Analysis phase, analyzer component. It depends upon you. There is no difference between these terms. Okay. And these are the two parallel phases. First one is symbol table and second one is error handling. At the end, you will get the assembly code. This is the structure of the compiler. I have already told you that we can categorize these phases into the two categories. First one is, you may call it as the analysis phase. Analysis means, for example, lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, semantic analyzer. These are the analysis phase. Next is intermediate code generation, code optimization, and target code generation. These are the synthesis phase. Or you can categorize all these phases on the basis of the front end or back end. Front end means lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, semantic analyzer, intermediate code generation. All these four phases will comes under the front end, where you will work on with the help of lexical analyzer or syntax analyzer or semantic analysis, and finally you will generate the intermediate code. And the backend phases are code optimizer and target code generation. Okay, we will discuss each and every phase in details one by one. First phase is a lexical analysis phase. Again, I am telling you, lexical analysis phase is the very first phase of the compiler. When you say that it is very first phase of the compiler, it is the phase that will interact with your source code. So you may call it as an interface between the source program and the whole compiler. Okay, this is the question. Many times such types of questions asked in your competitive examinations, that which phase will act as an interface between the source code and the compiler. So you will write the lexical analysis phase. First of all, we will discuss what is lexical analysis phase, or how it how it will work. Okay, first one. Lexical analysis phase is also called as a scanner. Okay, you may call it as a scanner. The working of this lexical analysis is what? It separates the characters of source code, or you can say that source language, into groups that logically belongs together. Okay, these groups are called tokens. Lexical analysis phase, also called as scanner, the working is what? It scan the source code character by character and grouped into a logically belong those characters by character, and group those characters by character scanning words into a logically belong words that are known as tokens, or you can say that those groups are known as tokens. Okay, this is the functioning of your lexical analysis phase. Second one is, next point is tokens. What lexical analysis phase will generate? It will generate the token. So you can say that in lexical analysis phase, our input is the source code, and what about the output? That will be the sequence of tokens, or it will generate the tokens. What is tokens? This is the next question. Tokens are the single meaningful entity in any programming language. It is again of two types: specific string, that is keywords; classes of string, you may call it as the constants, identifiers. How you can define these specific string and classes of string? If you can assign value to the tokens, you may call it as the classes of string, means constants or identifier. If you can't assign the value to the tokens, that means you are talking about the keywords. These are the two types of token. Okay, the output of your lexical analysis is the stream of tokens. Okay, and which will be the input to the next phase. What about the input to the lexical analysis phase? That will be your source code or the program, and output will be the stream of tokens, and these stream of tokens will be the input to the next phase. This is all about the lexical analysis phase. I have already told you this point. Lexical analysis is the interface between the source program and the compiler. And one more most important point is what? Lexical analysis acts as a coroutine and subroutine to the syntax analyzer. Okay, we will discuss this particular point in next slides. How we can say that this lexical analysis acts as a coroutine and subroutine of syntax analyzer. We will discuss this particular point later. Next is our syntax analysis phase. In syntax analysis phase, as we are calling it, as you have studied lexical analysis phase, also called as a scanner, now we can call this syntax analysis phase as the parser. Parser has two functions. First one is to check that the token produced by the lexical analyzer will match with the specification in language. Whatsoever the token is being generated or is to be generated by the lexical analysis phase, in syntax analysis phase, we will check, or we will match the specification in the language for what? For those tokens, whether that tokens that are produced by the lexical analyzer will match with the specification in language or not. This is the first function of your syntax analysis phase. And second function is to make explicit the hierarchical structure of the incoming token stream by identifying which part of the token stream should be grouped together. For example, like written, listen, this one is A divided by B cross C. Okay, now the point is which part of the token should be grouped together. Means if we grouped A divided by B, or we grouped B multiplication of C, This is, you can apply the BODMAS in this particular thing, whether the division is to be calculated first or the multiplication is to be calculated. So on the basis of that, we will explicitly make the hierarchical structure of incoming token stream by identifying which part of the token stream should be grouped together. It is to be shown with the example. For example, A divided by B cross C. This is the task of the syntax analyzer, that it will identify which part of the token should be grouped together. Okay, we will discuss parse tree for A divided by B cross C. Okay. Next is semantic analysis phase. So before going to the semantic analysis phase, again I am telling you the output of the parse tree or the output of the syntax analysis was the parse tree. Now you will provide that parse tree as an input to the semantic analysis phase, or you may call it as the whatsoever the output of the syntax analysis will be same as that of the semantic analysis phase. So first of all we will discuss about the semantic analysis phase. This particular term is applied to the definition of the types of intermediate results. Second function is semantic analysis can be done during the syntax analysis phase, intermediate code generation, or the final code generation. You can see that this particular semantic analysis is not being done or is not working on lexical analysis phase and code optimization phase, because in lexical analysis phase token will be generated and your intermediate code generation is based on the parse tree. So this semantic analysis phase will work on the syntax analysis phase, intermediate code, and final code generation phase. Next is, it will not work on the code optimization, because I will tell you while we will discuss the code optimization phase, that particular phase is optional. That's why semantic analysis phase is not working on them. The main function of this semantic analysis phase is what? Whether the output is permitted or not according to the machine. This is all about the functions of semantic analysis phase. Next is intermediate code generation. Output of the syntax analyzer is some representation of the parse tree. Intermediate code generation phase transform this parse tree into an intermediate language representation of the source program. For this, 3 address code is used. Popular type of intermediate language is 3 address code. Popular type of language, intermediate language representation is 3 address code. Okay, it can be written like this: A equal to B op C. Op is what? This is the binary operator, and you will perform for example, there is A divided by B cross C. We have taken this example in syntax analysis phase. A divided by means, first of all we will calculate this A divided by B and store or assign that particular thing into the T1, and after that whatsoever the value of in T1 we will multiply that particular thing with C and store or assign that particular calculation into a next temporary variable, that is T2. This is all about the intermediate code generation. Just remember, there will be a 3 address code is a popular language with the help of which you will generate the, or you will use the for the intermediate code generation. Next is your code optimization. Again I am telling you, this particular phase is the optional phase of the compiler. Types of optimization, that is local optimization and loop optimization. In local optimization, we can further categorize into 2 parts. First one is jump over jump. Second one is common sub expression elimination. Okay, we will discuss this jump over jump and common sub expression elimination in later slides. Next one is loop optimization. In loop optimization, we will discuss a loop invariant variable. And third one is analysis of flow of control and data. This is all about the code optimization. Till now you just know these are the three address code, what is code optimization, and what are the types of code optimization. We will discuss this types of code optimization, local and loop optimization there, where we will discuss the concept of code optimization. And last phase is your code generation. This code generation, it converts the intermediate code into the sequence of machine instructions. For example, A equal to B plus C, you simply write load B. First of all, you will load this B variable onto the register, then perform the add operation, you will add the C and finally store A onto the register. This is all about the phases of your computer. Next is symbol table. Symbol table is what? It keeps all the information related to the data object. For example, if you want to store a variable within the symbol table, so what about the information of a particular variable was? That will be stored into the symbol table. Okay, information about data object is collected by the early phase of the compiler. Okay, and early phase of the compilers are lexical analysis and syntactic analysis phase, and entered into the symbol table. For example, if that particular variable is an identifier. Okay, variable is what? You may call it as the identifier. The name of that identifier is max. If you first of all you check whether it is a new one or old one. If it is old one, then update the pointer within the symbol table. Otherwise, specify by an identifier and enter an entry into the symbol table. Okay, you just need to check whether that incoming stream of tokens, that may be the identifier or whatsoever it is. First of all, you should check it is new one or old one. If it is old one, just update the pointer, else you can make the entry for that particular identifier into the symbol table. Next is error handler. Error handler, each of you have seen in the diagram or the structure of the compiler that each and every phase is to be connected with the error handler and the symbol table. We have already discussed what is symbol table is. Now we will discuss the concept of error handler. Error handler is what? Types of error in each phase. What type of error that each phase may contain, that will be handled by the error handler. First phase, that is the lexical analysis phase. It may be unable to proceed because the next token in the source program is misspelled. You can say that if, for example, you have misspelled some tokens into your program, okay, when it will convert it into the tokens. If you have something written or you have some mistaken while writing the program, in that case that particular token will be misspelled. If such types of errors are there, in that case lexical analyzer's error handler will handle such kinds of errors. Next one is syntax analysis. Syntax analysis means what? Like missing parenthesis has occurred. Syntax means if some syntax has been wrong. For example, you have opened the opening braces but forgot to close that particular braces. Okay. For example, you have opened the opening parenthesis and forgot to close that particular parenthesis. So such types of error in syntax analysis will be handled by the error handler. Next is intermediate code generation. You will check the compatibility. Okay, if you remember, so in syntax analysis as intermediate code generation, we discussed these things also. Okay, next is code optimization. Remove the code that can never be reached. Okay, I have just introduced the concept of loop invariant variable while we have discussed the code optimization phase. In code optimization phase, I told you the categories of code optimization. First was the local optimization and second was the loop optimization. In loop optimization, a variable is placed into the loop that does not affect the performance of that particular loop. That does not affect the calculation or the results of that loop. So in that case, if such types of variable are present within the loop, that does not affect on the calculation, but it will definitely affect the execution time of your program. Okay, so such types of variables you should throw out from the loop, and that type of variable is called as the loop invariant variable. You can say that if such types of code are there within the programming language that can never be reached, or you may call it as, or you can think about it like that code is not participating in your result. In that case, it's better to remove that code that can never be reached. Next is code generation phase. Code generation is what? Constants are within the language range or not. If such types of error occurred, error handler will handle these types of error. And finally, last, that is symbol table. If more than one entry of the same variable, if it is so, then error handler will handle that type of error also. This is all about the error handler. This is the last topic of your first lecture, that is phases and pass. Phase is logically cohesive operation that takes as input one representation of source code and produce as output representation, or you can say that take one representation and transform it into the another representation. This is what the function of the phase is. Next is passes. Passes is what refers to the traversal of a compiler through the entire program. This is all about the passes and phases. What is pass, what is phase, you should know. If you are talking about lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, these are the, you can say that phases. Passes is what, when you will traverse of a compiler through the entire program. That is what the passes is. We will discuss the passes like multi-pass compiler, single pass compiler in later lecture series. We will discuss this thing later on. Okay, this is all about the today's lecture. If you have any doubt, if you want to ask something, you can ask. Otherwise, thank you so much. This is the reference section. In reference section, I have already told you in class that Alfred V. Aho and Jeffrey T. Ullman, or in short, you can say that Aho and Ullman, the books of Aho and Ullman. Title is Principles of Compiler Design. It is the book of Narosa's publication. You can take this book from the library, or you can even purchase this book. Okay. Rest is other books are there, but Aho and Ullman, this is the good book. If you can purchase, you should purchase this one. Rest is fine. Thank you so much.